Hello, it's High Priestess Jamila. Hello, hello, hello. Good morning. I am in here cleaning up my kitchen. Please excuse my loud ass old washing machine that's probably getting ready to be sold. Good morning to y'all. Hello, hello, hello. These kind of El Cheapo ones right here. Alright, I'm gonna give you guys a couple of minutes to get in here. Thank God this washer is almost done. Good Lord. Oh goodness, guys. Go get this thing. This is going out in the garage. It's High Priestess Jamila. I can't be on camera, you guys, because I'm over here cleaning up. My kitchen needs to be cleaned up pretty bad. Got some messes going on in here, so I say let me come up in here and do one of my cleaning vlogs. While I clean, I want to talk to y'all about a couple of things. Okay, washer. Hurry up and finish. I'm trying to wait till the washer finishes before I start to speak about this so that you guys can hear me, because I don't know how well you can hear me. I don't know how loud the dishwasher is. I'm not dishwasher, but the washer is right now. And so I'm just going to wait. It should be just a few minutes. That should give you guys enough time to get into the chat room. My goodness, you are loud. I can't wait to get a new one. Oh, goodness. I noticed that quite a few of the businesses over here in Georgia have recently been opened back up, and they just contacted me about a washer too. Well, not a washer, but a washer and a dryer, so happy that this whole thing seems to be leveling itself out here. Good Lord, that thing is taking forever. I'm so sorry. It kind of makes me want to stop it. Alright, you guys are just going to have to wait until that stops. It's going to stop any second now. Nice. You know, they kind of made it a little bit, what is this? Oh. This for recipes. Ah, thank you, Goddess. It's finally done. Oh my goodness. That seemed to have taken forever. All right, guys. So I wanted to come and have a very important discussion with you guys about relationships between men and women, and some things that I have in my life that I live my life by. I mean, if you are a person, you have the right to live however you want. This is not, listen, what's good for you is not good for me. So let's talk about it. First of all, relationships between men and women is supposed to be about love. Period. I can't imagine, thinking in the terms of needing a man to watch me, keep tabs on me, discipline me, make sure that I'm not stepping outside of some invisible and delusional boundary that has been set up for me. Okay. So, men are not here to validate the woman. You're not. That's not your job. You don't even have the power to do that. Y'all know that old saying, when women get married to a man, and I think this may be just for women that might be a little promiscuous, because I don't know why a man would have to make an honest woman out of you. These are attitudes that High Priestess Jamila does not conform to when it comes to gender roles in society. I do not conform with men treating women like children, treating women like they don't have intelligence, disrespecting women. And it seems as though society has kind of adapted these creatures with phalluses to sort of be our, guard dogs, or somebody that has to, help us figure it out, because I guess because you're a woman, you're supposed to be dumb, right? Everything that we do as women seems to be looked at as dumb. Having babies, falling in love, caring about a man. These things are dumb to society, so anything that makes you human these days is now being perpetuated as it being something wrong with you. So now what they are doing, the current agenda is to totally turn you into robots. And let me give you guys an example. I was looking at this article today that I found on Facebook. And it was an article about a movie that just came out in Germany that outraged a lot of people. The reason why this movie outraged a lot of people is because in this movie, there was a man, evidently his daughter had died or something, and he had made a robot to replace her. And he began to have a sexual relationship with this robot, so it pissed a lot of people off. They're slowly trying to work this way of life into our minds so that it can be accepted. Okay, so this is one of the things. And then so for some reason, like the past several years, they have tried to cause a regression for women, one of which they lost. They know they lost. I'm so sorry. Many of them are so sad that they lost, that they have to sit around and undermine the woman and her accomplishments and say, oh, you're just, you're on welfare. You're not, but they did lose. Just to let y'all know, they lie a lot because they don't want you to know the truth. They don't want you to know that witchcraft is going to be your best friend in this situation, because they are still trying to program and control women. In fact, a lot of the stuff that is going on is based upon control, aka population control. The funny thing about it is that many, many men in this world, they will be okay with controlling the woman, but many of them will be outraged when their buddies get to dying off as a result of population control. So it's funny how they have reduced the relationship between not the divine feminine masculines. The divine feminine masculines would not behave this way. They would not go for this. They would say, nah. And I'll get to you guys' chats in a minute. They're going to say, no, this isn't really resonating with me. I think that a man is supposed to be your partner. He's supposed to love you and care about you and look out for you. He's not supposed to be judging you. If there's something that you can't do, he's going to do it for you. It's the way it's supposed to be. But for some reason, there seems to be like this group of people, and they're a very large group. They feel that women should be slaves to men, and they're serious about it. They are dead serious about it. They not joking with you. It's not no joke type of thing. It's not some, 50 Shades of Grey kink. This is literally what these people want to do. And I noticed a few years ago, I was, as someone kept repeating something over and over, and you can tell people that have been indoctrinated by public schooling and stuff, they were repeating something over and over and over again. I said, wow. I said, they're trying to program me. I said, they're trying to indoctrinate me. And the way that they do it, because I don't give a damn what they say. They want the mamas. They want the mamas. They want us. They do. But they don't want us in the way that we can be us. We have to be something else. You have to give up your power. Not too many people are going to do that, and not too many women have done that. Even 30 or 40 or 50 years ago, you were not going to find very many women that did that. But I think that they're very, very serious about it. And it's based in insecurity. Okay? They overreact. They do some of the most despicable things in their plight to program the woman. And there are a lot of women that will go for this, okay? This is not for you. If you're a woman that feels that you should just bow down to your man and he should tell you everything to do, he has to tell you what to think, what to say, what to eat, how to dress, then hey, you do your thing. But there are a lot of women that aren't going to go for that. Many of them won't go for that. And the ones that will go for that, isn't it funny how men get bored with them? What does that tell you? When a man has a woman that will do anything and everything that he tells her to do, even if it's wrong, and they seem to be communicating that they want this type of woman, but it seems that they have this type of woman and they can't just stick with that type of woman. They're trying to come after a divine feminine that is more so liberated from that. Her mind does not work that way. She will literally lose her freaking mind under the foot of a man. It's never going to happen. You're always going to get a resistance from these types of women. And I think that for some of them is a kink. It's a turn on. Oh, you're resisting me. I've got to break you like a horse. Well, guess what? Women are not horses. So when you hear men say things like that, when I hear men say things like that, I look the other direction. Yet and still, even though women like me, and any of you women that are here listening, women like me, you're not going to ever do it Even if they had a gun to your head and threatened you, you still wouldn't do it, would you? You wouldn't. I think the main reason is that it's unnecessary and it's demeaning to the spirit. But I think that the main thing is just because that's what you have in you. You know, I know that for me, I am Andromedan. I come from the galaxy of Andromeda. Andromedan women do not do that. They don't do that. Now, maybe some other woman from some other constellation. I am from the spiral galaxy, which Andromeda is right there in the middle of it. We just don't go for that. You know, our men originally, and see, this is the thing, when we made our way to this planet, there were other species of men, and see, that's what I'm saying, they're doing a lot of crossbreeding, and it was so weird. I was actually coincidentally reading an article this morning about how aliens and different species of men, some of them soulless, are procreating with human women. These are some of the relationships that you notice don't work out. The reason why is because it's poison. If you're a woman that is independent, you don't like to feel like you're always doing something wrong. You know, you like to live carefree. You don't always like to be up underneath somebody's ridiculous judgment that makes no sense anyway. Okay? So you're gonna see that and feel that in the instant a male does that to you, you're gonna walk away. And you're not gonna be interested, not in the least. You're gonna literally be turned off because this is not the person for you. You know, just because we're on Earth doesn't mean that everybody is going to be for everybody. You know, that's just like there's some women that, you know, they are accustomed to either a man or a stepfather beating the crap out of their kids that don't belong to them. Even if they did belong to him, he wouldn't be allowed to do that. But some women are accustomed to that. They won't say anything. And many people say that those women don't have souls. Did y'all know that? A woman that is very complacent, that would take anything from a man, it's like she has no spirit. And you guys should really read up on that, because a person that is soulless can either be born that way or they can lose their soul at some point in their life. Which means that they're a walking shell. Oh, I don't care. Do whatever you got to do to me. Do whatever you got to do to my children. Do whatever you got to do. I don't care. I have no spirit. I have no life in me. I am broken to the point of no return. I can't get up. I can't stand up and stand up to this person that is bullying me. For some reason, there are some people that value and covet these relationships where the man is being a bully. And just to break the news to you, most men on this earth has been corrupted by this attitude. Then I will tell you that let's lower the numbers a little bit. Let's put it like this. Some men are not going to mesh well. You're not equally yoked with them. They want a woman that bows down and is stupid, and you're not that type of woman, so it will never happen. So you're not seeking validation from men. That's a very, very powerful thing. It completely changes the dynamic of the relationships that you have with men into something positive. If a man is not going to go for that, if a man is not for that, if he's because believe it or not, when you see a man talking like a pimp, y'all know about pimps. That's actually something very deep and very spiritual that is always and will forever be about domination and control. Okay? And, again, we're not sitting around waiting for these men to change. You know, we're not disappointed in the least when we realize the type of man that you are, because we know intuitively that the man that is for us is right there. I've seen a lot of women get harmed and hurt by these type of men, especially when you break up with them. They filled with lies and deceit. This is a way of trying to control you and isolate you and put you in some kind of bondage. Now, let me tell you how witchcraft helps you with that. You can break those chains of bondage. They're going to go on and 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 on for months and months and months. They won't stop. But in the meantime, what you have to do is you have to stay focused. You have to stay focused on the man that is for you to come to you. Now, I'm going to tell y'all something that's very interesting. Many of y'all mate or your divine masculine or divine feminine does not currently reside on this earth. In fact, there's some information that I got this morning that they're going to be coming in, and this is no joke. They're going to be coming in from just another galaxy. Like, they've been traveling here for a very long time, and they're going to get here pretty quickly. So it's going to be pretty miraculous the way that a lot of you women that have been displaced with these men that are outside of your spiritual lineage. It's going to be amazing to see all of those women finally meet the man that is for them. And they're going to come out of the blue. Okay, very powerful. They don't require a birth certificate. They probably won't have one. They will be considered, it'll be sort of unknown, but I will tell you that in the next several months, we already have been seeing these UFOs. We've already been seeing and witnessing these spacecrafts that have been landing on this earth. Okay, if you go and look for like literally the past several months, it has just been a lot of UFO activity. And I know that sounds like a fairy tale, but I still believe in fairy tales. I'll never stop believing. When you stop believing in something good, then bad shit starts to happen to you. It's hell for a woman like me, for a divine feminine like me, to have a male that is so obsessed with domination that he would go and resort to lying, deceiving, attacking, beating, and raping. It's a complete nightmare. No woman like me wants it. Again, there are some women out there that are okay with that. Perhaps they came from a different star system. Really don't have nothing to do with the way that you was raised by your parents. It really doesn't. It has a lot to do with who you are as a person. What is meant for you. What is in your destiny? Is it in your destiny to consistently be traumatized and berated and harassed, stalked by a man that literally can't have you? These men can't have us because it just doesn't work. It cancels itself out, and our ancestors are pushing them away from us. Not just your grandmother, not just your great-grandmother or your great-grandfather. Those particular, wherever your position is in the galaxy, wherever your soul or your spirit originated from, those ancestors are pushing these men away from you, because technically they're not for you. And many of you guys have been in hell for years, at least the past 10 years or more. And many of us did procreate with these types of men. But the very interesting part about it is that our children carry our DNA. They don't carry their DNA. Now, of course, these children can go either way, but in reality, the way that works is that, when the child comes through the mother, that's her child. That's just what it is, okay? And it's a good thing that it's that way, because, because of the corruption. I've actually heard horror stories. I was actually, you never know when you're out at the mall or when you're out at a restaurant and you see a woman and she's there with a man and she kind of has this look on her face like, oh my God, my life sucks. You never know, that woman could be a hostage. She knows that if she leaves that man, he's going to try to kill her. How many of y'all have dated a man that straight up told you, if you leave me, I'll kill you? And you thought it was something funny and cute. Oh, he just loved me, girl. He told me if I leave him, he gonna kill me. But then when it was time for you to leave, he actually did try to kill you. If he didn't get away with killing you, then he did other things to make life harder on you. So many of you women were bred out by these people. You have a biological right to your children. Doesn't matter if they are reptilian, draconian. If you gave birth to that child, you have a biological right to protect your child. I don't care what he is. I don't care where he came from. Okay? So that's something you got to remember always, because it is very, very, very common for angry men who are rejected to attack your children. It is. And it just is what it is. That's what they do. I've been dealing with this so I know firsthand. Many of you have witnessed the attacks because you don't want a man, and the first thing that he does is he goes after your children to attack them. So those men are not meant to be with you. That's why they disturb your spirit. You're not meant to be with those men. And this year is going to be a year of completion. This year is going to be a year of closing out the old and bringing in the new. Okay? And, men are very codependent on women. They claim that it's us that are codependent, but they're actually very, very codependent on us. In fact, instead of love, women have become a status symbol for these men. Okay? And so when that happens, that's a fraud. Okay? When that happens, that's a fallacy. Because a human being is not a trophy. You might as well just say, hey, I need a trophy. We'll go buy one, man. Instead of people experiencing love and actually being with somebody that they want to be with, they would settle for someone that they believe that society would approve of. One thing that I notice about a lot of you women is that you're stuck waiting for these men to come back to you. Why? Why do you wait for them to come back to you? Do you think that maybe you could be under their mind control? There are all sorts of beings on this earth that have certain things that they're able to do with their mind. So if you find yourself sitting around for, 4 or 5 years, 10 years, and you're waiting on this person to come back, which is really the saddest thing ever when I see that happening. Um, there you find out that you've wasted your life. You found out that you've been wasting your life force. And some of y'all have children by these men, and they ain't left you alone ever since. They ain't quit bothering you. They've consistently watched you in social media, stalk you. That's one of the reasons why I don't put my business into social media. I think it's crazy that first of all, when I see people, having problems or whatever in social media, and then they start to try to prove that they got somebody else, I would never do that. I got accused of that, which was absolutely ridiculous and insulting. I would never do anything like that. Trust me. Y'all won't see us for about a year. Okay. When the thing happens, which is definitely going to be an energy shift, when that happens, I'm not going to come to YouTube and announce this in social media. Because you already know what's going to happen. Okay, which is a shitstorm, because you're living your life and they don't want you to do that. They don't have a life without you. There are some beings on this earth that are totally codependent on you. There's nothing wrong with wanting somebody, and there's nothing wrong with needing somebody. There's nothing wrong with that. But, when that person is constantly disrespecting you, constantly degrading you, just because they can. You're a man, I am a woman. You're a masculine, I am a feminine. You do not have the right to control me, ever. And that's just the reality of it. You don't have the right, because when people can't control you, so what they do is when they know they can't control you, they want to control how other people perceive you. Right? Well, honey, let me tell you something. I have earned $1 for every time a man did that. And so if you have a man doing that, you're like, oh my God, he's ruining my life. He's going around. Girl, get you some witchcraft. Get you some witchcraft, baby. That'll clear all that up. Because men do lie a lot on women. I'm telling you, it's a shame. I've talked to so many women. And, many women will just stay with these men because they know that if they leave, he's going to try to ruin their life. So they're trapped with this man that makes them miserable every single day. Cheats on them. Beats them. Goes around his buddies and talks crazy. I mean, I remember overhearing a couple of men talking about women. And these types of men, they actually really do hate women. Why? I don't understand why people don't understand that just because a man sleeps with somebody doesn't mean that he doesn't hate them. I actually just recently had that experience. It was a little walk on the wild side, sleeping with somebody that I actually hate his guts. It's kind of kinky, but it was fun, but it's over because nobody wants a relationship like that. Okay, very toxic, very degrading, very demeaning. It's devoid of any love. Okay. Ooh, let me see who this is that just texted me, y'all. Let me see. Hey, guys. Hey, Maggie and Honeybee and Real Estate Student. Hello. Okay, yeah, I got you. Don't worry. If you guys have placed any orders on Etsy, I'm following up with you. I was getting some really heavy psychic attacks around 8 p.m. the night before Mother's Day. So I was really, really, really being attacked, you guys, and it's okay now. You know, I hadn't done my yoga in a couple of days, but I got that done this morning. So we all back on track, okay? Sometimes when some stuff happens, you have to, you know, take a breather, realign, and get back on track, okay? So, first of all, the first clue that a man is not for you is that if he's constantly trying to destabilize you. You know how many women would be stable if it were not for males destabilizing them? Okay, guys, I'm back. Hello, pretty and intuitive. Good morning. So, guys, if you found that you have become involved with a man like this and he doesn't want to let you go, he's lying to everybody in the community, telling them that he's not trying to get back with you, and as a way. And see, people in the community shouldn't be involved with that anyway. People are disgusting. They'll see a man doing this stuff and they'll go, how hard, yeah, do it. And they're just disgusting. If you have an issue with this, definitely seek some kind of spiritual counseling. Because to be honest with you, like I told you guys throughout the years, I've never been able to stop it from running its mouth, but I've always been able to stop it from doing harm to me. Okay, regardless of what his intent is, it does not matter. It will not manifest. Most of the time with men, the intent is to make sure that you do bad without them. Y'all heard me? They want you to do bad in life without them. They want to tell everybody else how you're not worthy of being with them, but they just can't stop thinking about you and contacting you all the time, every day. There are several things that you can do to protect yourself from the harm that they can cause. I know that there was a lot of women that were throughout the years, and it doesn't matter in what community, black community, white community, but I think that it stands out for me when it comes to black people because I've been around a lot of black people. And there was a lot of black women that were saying, hey, we want to get together a class action lawsuit because, every single time I walk away from one of these demons, they start slandering me. Some of them will slander you in courtrooms. Some of them are really, really vicious. They will do everything in their power to destroy your life. And there have been women whose lives have been destroyed totally. They're all in the sake of love. No. Stop allowing people to convince you that that is love. Somebody that loves you is not going to do that to you. And they'll come to you with some convoluted crap talking about, well, if you love me, you wouldn't have done that to me. Well, I don't love you. I had to tell a man that years ago. He said, wait a minute, you did this, and that. You must not love me. And I said, exactly, I don't love you. Doesn't make you a bad person. You can start out with a situation with a person and you can really care about them and you can really enjoy their company. But if they continue to do things to be disrespectful and to tear you down, of course your feelings are going to change. You're going to realize that the feelings that you thought you had was a damn lie. There's no I love you, but that doesn't exist. We've got to stop accepting less than what we can get. Because they'll tell you, oh, you can't get this, you can't get that, you can't do this, you can't do that. But one thing that you can do is keep them chasing and stalking you for years. I would take it as a compliment. I would take it as a compliment. If somebody's stalking me, don't take it as an insult, take it as a compliment. But stalking is very devastating because you feel like you don't have privacy. Stalking can really play numbers on the mind. It can really mess with your mind because you start to think, oh my God, is this person watching me? How does this person know all of this? How are they able to do all of this? And yeah, they have invented technology so that these men can watch you. I've actually heard horror stories about women having a man that he basically put a GPS tracker, and the whole RFID chip, that's going to first affect women because women are going to be chipped if you let them. There's a lot of women that are going to willingly be chipped with a foreign body inside of them so that they can be found by this person, which I guess would be okay in case you were kidnapped or taken over to another country, and then maybe they would be able to find you. But other than that, it's all about their insecurity. Okay, a lot of men, these types of men, These types of men are insecure. They create insecurity in their relationships. Their children typically have a lot of challenges in life. They may say, oh, my child is going to do this or going to do that. No, they're not, because they are encased and cloaked in insecurity. So your child's going to be insecure. It's not a good environment for anybody to be in, because when you're around somebody, that energy affects you. It touches you. It touches you. Those things are insecurities. They have no place in relationships. The reason why we know intuitively and instinctively what kind of relationship that we want is because this is all a part of our DNA. We've constantly had, for some reason, there have been some of us that have constantly had these types of men forced upon us. They're forced upon us. They force those type of men upon us. And you feel like every man that you get with is the same exact way, because they're all buddies with each other. They all communicate with each other like aliens or dogs. Or, you know what I'm saying? They're really, really keen with that. And it's all about keeping you in a certain mind frame so that you will not feel good about yourself, so that you won't feel good about life, so that you will always stay with them. Now tell me if that is not the most unhealthy relationship. I couldn't even imagine. I've actually been in a relationship like that before, and I was only in it for 2 years. Would never stay with a man like that. He's not for me. He's alien to me. He's not familiar. Stop dealing with these unfamiliar alien-like men. The reason why they are causing you to feel creepy, you feel like, you know, pins and needles, they make your stomach, it just make your stomach turn how disgusting they act. Because that is a man that has been designed for someone else. And, you know, maybe these beings, maybe these women that accept these types of men, okay, maybe they feel they deserve it. Maybe they feel like on some level, you know, hell, maybe they do. You know, somebody that wants to live life and love the planet and, you know, just have a good life, you know, a life of love and health and happiness and wealth. They're not going to be interested in a man like that, because that man does represent some kind of struggle. A lot of people make it seem like it's about the black community, but it's really honestly not. Like, and I'm going to stop myself from doing that. But it's funny how it does seem that, you know, African American melanated men they seem to be more proud of it. You know, perhaps it's some sort of trick or whatever as to why this is happening. But, you know, these men typically die alone. They die alone with nobody there. I was watching the Skeleton Key tonight. Y'all remember at the beginning of the Skeleton Key when the nurse is reading a book to that older black man that dies? Okay, you know, this is reminiscent of what we've seen over and over again, as far as with, you know, you do so much to the people around you that you supposedly love. Love is a weapon. They use it as a weapon against you. And you're just consistently trying to make those around you feel like shit. You're dead set on domination and revenge and hate. No woman's gonna stay with you. And they want us. Do y'all understand me? The 6 divine feminine and men that have thumbs up this video, you are highly wanted and sought out. They want you. They'll tell you that they don't want you, but why are you stalking me if you don't want me? I don't understand that, right? And, you know, some of them try to get by saying, you know, just because you're not stalking me in social media anymore doesn't mean that you're not stalking me in other ways. So they spiritually stalk you. The way that they get you is they take advantage of your kindness. Because they're always trying to fake emotions. Try to make it look like they're just some humble man who, you know, literally after they have tried to rip a hole in you, then they turn into, I'm just an innocent man that is misunderstood. So they become manipulative and they manipulate the people around them, and then the next thing you know, they got the whole damn community stalking you, harassing you. They want you because you are a dynamic woman. They want your energy, but they don't want you to have your energy. That's why they want you. They want to use you and abuse you. That's why you're highly sought out. That's why they want you so bad, because they want your energy. Your energy is so amazing. People that fit that MO, such as myself, you're usually a very vibrant personality. You know, people actually connect with you. You know, some of y'all may even have a lot of friends. That's the first thing that a man like that is going to do. They're going to try to isolate you and get rid of everybody that you know. Now, the dangerous part about it is that there have been a lot of women that have ended up addicted to drugs and out on the streets with these kind of men. That's where they lead you. They lead you out to the streets. They don't have a safe place for you. They don't have that stability for you. So I'm gonna a little bit later, I want to have spirit guide me through talking to you guys about connecting to your twin flame, because there's getting ready to be a bunch of twin flame reunions, and it's not these people that you've met that have degraded you and dissed you. It's not. You know, once a man has done that to you, it's over. That pretty much tells you that it's over. If you take him back, he's going to continue to do the same thing and go through the same cycle over and over again. Okay, this is very different. Having a normal argument is very, very different than a man trying to humiliate and degrade you. Those are two different things. You know, sitting there having a discussion that may lead to a heated argument is very different from that, because those men are in fact scheduling this as a ritual. They scheduled it. A lot of y'all women that are getting whooped by your man, he scheduled that. It was scheduled. It was a scheduled, planned event. It didn't come out of the blue. In fact, this is one of the reasons why you'll find in a lot of different neighborhoods that there will be about 20 different women in that neighborhood being beaten by their husbands that night. Women like me don't stay with men like that. We don't. They know it because we left them. It's very upsetting for them. Also, it's not normal for a person to continue to do something over and over and over again to the point where it becomes an obsession and they can't stop. There have been a lot of women that have fell to the waysides because of that, and they're proud of it. Everybody walking around this earth don't have a soul. Please accept that. You're constantly seeing the good in people, but you're only seeing the good in yourself because they're emulating you. They're doing everything that they think will impress you. But as soon as they have you, don't they switch up and do everything that you hate the most? They're a waste of energy, and they are a waste of time. And I think that God is because I keep whenever I throw the cards, I always get the Wheel of Fortune, the Wheel of Fortune, the Wheel of Fortune. Well, the Wheel of Fortune doesn't just represent a large amount of money or prosperity. The Wheel of Fortune represents time and energy and change. These men ain't gonna change. The ones that you guys seem to be addicted to. They manifest, as energetically to me as more of a drug addiction. It's not actually a relationship. It's more of a drug addiction. You become addicted to the drama, the highs and lows, the breakups and the makeup sex. You know what I'm saying? And you're laying there during the makeup sex and it feels really good to you. But afterwards, you know that he's going to do it again. And let me tell y'all something. Mental and psychological abuse and verbal abuse is just as bad, if not worse, than physical abuse. Okay, so, a man that would verbally abuse you, this man is not for you. He's taking up space in your time. He's taking up your energy. The only thing that you should give to them energetically is a Dear John letter every time. If they don't understand it, tell them over and over and over again, I do not want you, and tell them why. Don't try to be nice to them. See, being nice is what has hurt you because they got the wrong idea. You were a human being. You said, hey, I don't want us to have this bad blood between us, but the bad blood is going to always be there. It's always going to be there. It's never going to change. The violations get worse and worse as it goes. As you can see, if anybody experienced, my verbal abusive situation, it just got worse and worse until he told me that he wanted to beat my child. The child had never done anything to him. I was like, wow, you won't get away with that, that's for sure. But imagine all of the men that have gotten away with that. That's why they have prisons set up for them. Men that do things like that. They'll hold that memory in their mind. We were actually doing a little bit of reading on Azaro, the maniac that murdered little precious Gabriel. He sits in jail every day reliving that experience and getting off on it sexually. Very, very sick man. So they don't mind going to jail. They take pleasure in that. I went to jail for murdering this little kid. And yeah, even though they had problems in prison, it's worth it to them. It's very worth it. They get a free meal, a free ride every day. Hey, and they get to sit in their cell and relive that horrific experience over and over again through the eyes of a maniac. That's exactly what Azaro is doing right now. He loves it. He loves it. He's proud of what he did. In fact, he said it over and over again that the little boy was homosexual. And that he had some right to kill him because he felt that he was homosexual. He wasn't homosexual. He was just a sweet little boy. He was just a nice kid that got taken advantage of while his mother watched. Now, why on earth would a human man that possesses a soul, why would a human man that has a soul do that knowing the current status quo when it comes to children? It's because he has no conscience. There is no way in hell that that any human being that has a soul would say those things knowing what can happen in these types of situations. So it even more validates my point about them not having a soul and them not being consciously aware. Well, they are consciously aware, they just don't give a damn. They lack empathy. Totally. Okay? So, what I want you guys to do is I want you guys to be reminded that these are not the men for you. Okay? They have been identified through history, and society has literally tried to block them out, but like roaches, they continue to procreate. Now, I'm not talking about black folk, because I know y'all probably took that as and if you a black person and you automatically get insulted when somebody says the word roach, well then, okay? Because, I didn't get insulted. When I think Cardi B said that black women were like roaches, I didn't get insulted. You know what I'm saying? It's like, well, everybody's entitled to their opinion. So, what I want you guys to do is throw away all of the garbage that they have told you about yourselves because they were lying. It was a program to get your mind to accept this horrific treatment from them. And you'll even ask them, well, what did I do? It's very confusing. You don't understand why. Next thing you know, they're verbally abusing you and attacking you. And you're like, well, what happened? Nothing happened. Well, something did happen. It was time for them to abuse you. These things are scheduled for certain times of the day. They schedule these things for the solstices. They're doing this at the Sabbaths. Okay, the Sabbaths is when certain energies come in. Like, for example, with Beltane, I think they said is the longest day of the year. Is that what it is about Beltane? That is because there's an energy shift happening. There's certain energy that is being bestowed onto the earth. Earth is being pollinated and nurtured and enriched. And when you have a man like that or a woman like that in your life, they're closing you off. They're shutting it down. Or at least they're trying to. They're trying to shut it down. Okay? I have seen more women broken by these types of men. It's so sad. I feel like my mother got destroyed by my father. I can't even lie to you. There are many times, when I see the way that she behaves, I want to ask my father, what did you do to her to make her like this? Because, that's pretty much where the culprit is at, especially if you have a mother that is taking out some kind of anger on you, and they've been doing it for years because they're angry at your father, and then they see you as your father, and you're not. You're a complete separate entity. You don't even act like them. You're a child. You don't have the capability to do the same thing that was done to them during the relationship, but they do have a certain level of mind control capabilities. They hide in the church. They hide behind Jesus. But Jesus doesn't stand in front of them at all. So these type of manipulative type of men, they are very, very, very into the church. And the reason why is because the church facilitates this kind of control over the divine feminine power. But in reality, what the divine feminine is doing is she is nurturing the earth. That's what divine feminines do. They nurture the earth. They have contact with their spirit guides. This is what they do. They want to stop that nurturing. They want to stop the growth of earth. Well, earth grew 3 times in size the past 50 years. Scientists have proved it. So what I'm trying to say to y'all simply is that all of it is a delusion. All of it is an illusion that doesn't actually exist. But if you believe that that is the way it's supposed to be, And if you believe that it exists, then it will exist in your life. It will. It will absolutely destroy you as a person. It will. It's destroyed many, many people. And that's because when they put all of that programming into you, you're not doing anything about it. One of the reasons why I was able to prevail was through spiritual cleanses and hex removers and unblockers. You want to get to, let me tell you something, you want to get somewhere and you got all that stuff going on, it takes cleanses, unhexers, reversals, unbindings. The unbinding process is actually very quick. Spirit fully supports this. The idea that women have to be controlled by men is very alien. It's not normal. Okay? It's not normal for certain women, But, like I said, there are women out there that are okay with this behavior. And they do feel betrayed because they're like, well, I'm doing everything that you tell me to do. Why are you interested in someone else that won't cooperate with you? I didn't know that women cooperated while men threatened to beat up their children. I didn't know that. I didn't know they were doing that. I've been meaning to ask, where are they doing this at? Where you're supposed to be compliant with a man threatening your children. I didn't know that's what you were supposed to do. There's some people that evidently it's okay. They sit back, they watch it, they turn a blind eye. They're still up in these men's faces. They have absolutely no problem with these types of men. And this is what you call apathy. This is when people just don't give a shit. They don't care. And they don't care about you. They don't care about your well-being. Hey, Sarah Nisut, hello. So, keep in mind what I'm telling you. The next time you run into a man like this, you just get that prickly feeling. And what they'll do is they'll say, well, that's because some man that you've never met programmed you against me. You ever hear him say that? Oh, well, especially with black men, they'll say, oh, the white man told you to not cooperate with me because I'm your man and they was hating on us. And that's totally the most ridiculous, preposterous thing ever. It's game. They know how to run game on you. They even call it game. Sad, but it's the truth. And again, this has nothing to do with love. It has nothing to do with nature, and it has nothing to do with divine couples. Okay, that especially when when you think of in terms of power couple. When you have a power couple, both parties have equal power. But some people will mistaken, they'll be sadly mistaken and they'll go, yeah, we're a power couple. No, you're not, because you have no power in the relationship as the woman. He controls everything that you do. He wants to control how you talk, how you feel, what you think. If he calls you out of your name, he wants to control whether or not you'll care to defend yourself. He wants to get you so beat down that you won't even bother to defend yourself anymore. You'll just say, oh God, I might as well just cooperate. Yeah. So, I want to let you guys know that we already beat that demon. That demon lost control a long time ago. It actually happened last year at the beginning of the year. It lost control over what it was trying to do to people. What's sad is when a woman or a man that shouldn't be putting up with that kind of behavior eventually gets used to it, but you internalize it. A lot of people will say, well, y'all know that being too complacent can give you heart problems. Did y'all know that? So it's dangerous to deal with them at all. Even if you're not arguing and fighting back with them, you're still internalizing all of that anger and hatred. You're holding it in. And he knows it. You're almost like you're almost like this vessel to hold all of his bad crap, and you're supposed to hold on to it because he doesn't want to let it go. He wants to put it inside of you, this seed of destruction of your mind, body, and spirit, and that's because he is your enemy. He is not your lover. They have women for men like that. Again, these men don't want those women. I don't get it. I'm like, well, wait a minute. You said that you liked women that were, that had no backbone. You like women that love to be controlled by men. Why are you contacting me again? Because I'm not that type of woman. In fact, a healthy relationship doesn't even require that. That's not a requirement. So, do better for yourself. Hold on a second, guys. It's my spray bottle. Here it is. Do better for yourself. You can do better for yourself. Now, not all of you are going to have this cosmic male that comes to you. I think that you just have to set your intent for that. Because to be honest with you, for me personally, I don't think that there's a man on this planet currently that is for me. I'm just keeping it real. And they know it. Okay, the demon knows it that controls them, not some of these men, but the demonic entity knows that. They don't want you to know it. Your cosmic male, your divine masculine is going to have every capability to protect you, including from psychic attacks. You just have to be patient, and you have to be positive, and you have to be smart until that person actually comes to you guys. Now, I will be doing some love readings a little bit later. Okay, I will be doing some love readings for you guys. As soon as I get done with all of my other readings, I'm going to do some love readings. And, we want to see, if you have someone coming in, and if you don't, that's more than likely because you have closed your heart chakra. Many of you women will get hurt by these types of men, and it's very heartbreaking, and you will shut yourself out from love. And if your heart chakra is closed, how is he going to find you? How is this man that is meant to love you going to find you if your heart chakra is closed? He won't be able to. So it doesn't mean that you're leaving your heart chakra open for somebody to break it. But you're ready. You're ready for that person. You're preparing yourself for that person. That can be the hardest thing because in between that time that you've gotten rid of one of these types of males, they're going to flip around and flounder and act a fool the whole time. In fact, they're not going to shut up. Okay, you can light a shut the fuck up candle on them, but to be honest with you, everybody has free will. So if you when I do a shut up candle for somebody, it's so that I don't have to hear them in my head because I'm very telepathic. Makes all the world a difference. You don't hear them. See no evil, hear. Everybody else can sit and listen to that evil if they want. You don't have to deal with it. Because in reality, he's really talking. When a man gets to doing stuff like that, after a while, if you stop listening to it and you stop taking it in, then he's not talking to anybody except for himself. Okay? So again, if you are dealing with a man that is trying to program you to believe that he has to validate you, run. If you see him treating another woman like that, stop thinking that. Let me say this before I go to some of y'all women out there. You think that he's going to treat you different because you a rival with this woman. He going to treat you just the same, if not worse. Okay? Take it from me, honey. I'm just telling you the truth. You never know a person until you've met them, until you actually have had an experience with them. And, you know, this type of person will take up all your time. That's why I'm going to be on YouTube yet less, even though a lot of y'all be wanting me to come on here. I have a lot of people like, Jamila, I just want you to go live so I can hear your voice. Whenever I don't go live for a day, people be contacting me like, where are you at? What you doing? But, you know, I make the best use of my time with whatever I do. I don't waste my time. Everything that I talk about has meaning. It's supposed to. So, if you guys want to reach me to find out, you know, about your love life, we can do a reading. I know that I've been doing readings today on my love life. Just because you had a baby by this man does not mean that he owns you for life. It's not a relationship. That's a hostage. That's a spiritual hostage. Don't be flattered by a man that is stalking you and harassing you at the same time disrespecting you. There's nothing flattering about it. Tell him to his face that you don't need his validation and that he don't know nothing about love and you do. What he's going to do is because half of them are married to somebody that's taking care of him. What he gonna do is he gonna go home and he's gonna continue to be bored with that person that he's with, but then he'll have no choice but to turn all of that hatred and anger onto that person. They won't have no choice because they will no longer have you to do that to. And and the person that they're dealing with can't blame you. Especially when you got these men out here in social media verbally abusing everybody. They're doing that because, maybe they're trying to avoid doing that to their own wives. Definitely don't deal with no married man. That is a bad sign in a lot of cases. Okay? So it's sad because many of you guys gave up on love. When you give up on love, you're giving up on yourself. Don't ever let nobody make you not love or take that away from you because you deserve it. Oh shit, guys, I'm only on 8%. So I'm going to go. We're going to continue this discussion a little bit later, but we're going to do it via readings. We're going to do some readings for you guys a little bit later. Probably won't have them up until a little bit later. Okay? Don't overwork yourself. A lot of these men, they use it as a tactic and a ploy, to continue to harass you and bother you so that you won't have time for love. You got to actually discipline yourself, ladies. Discipline yourself. If you're doing anything socially, it shouldn't have nothing to do with a man like that. You shouldn't want to hear a word that they got to say. You should not care, nor should you be concerned. When you look at it from that perspective, don't it take weight off of your heart? When you look at it for the situation for what it is, it takes the weight off of you. And then you're not dealing with it anymore. Hey Amanda, how you doing? How you doing? So, um, a man that's acting up with you and constantly in turmoil and constantly has something negative to say about you, he just doesn't give a damn about you. He don't care about himself most of the time, but why should you care? Stop trying to save these people. It's a ploy. The reason why they're having so much struggle is because they choose to have that struggle. Look like I got some toothpaste or something. So anyway, guys, I hope that y'all enjoyed this subject. I hope that you learned something, and be on the lookout for those readings, okay? I will see y'all later. Thank you for coming. Oh, by the way, guys, if you guys want to reach me, all of my contact information is below. I am accepting new clients, in particular for this new moon that's coming up. I got to talk to you guys about this new moon coming up, but I might have to leave this one to just, personal, private. Because when I come on here and announce something, they listen. And they're trying to block everything. They trying to block it. You're such a tough cookie. I love you. I love you. Love you too. Be my cyberspace be auntie, please. I am. I am. And you know what? I'm an only child, so I never got the chance to be an auntie to anybody. So that just really makes me feel good. Thank you so much. I always wanted nieces and nephews, and I never did. Thank you. Yeah, I'm feeling really, really uplifted today, feeling really, really positive, and that's just all it is to it. I wake up in the morning feeling positive because it's a brand new day, it's a fresh day, and it's an opportunity to do better. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, guys, thank you for coming. I love you guys. Love and light.